Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. And above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have another ranking the album segment for you. And I'm going to be taking a look at the albums from the Alice Cooper Band. Not the solo artist, but the band. Now, the Alice Cooper Band, in their time together, have released 8 studio albums, the most recent being The Revenge of Alice Cooper, which was released on July 25th, 2025. Too much critical acclaim, I'm hearing. And this album, Revenge of Alice Cooper, sorry, was much anticipated. It has been 52 years since their last release of original material, which was the album Muscle of Love in 1973. So again, Revenge of Alice Cooper, a much anticipated album, and it is a fantastic album. But I wanted to put together a ranking of their other albums in their catalog. And I was surprised that they had only 8 albums under the band name of Alice Cooper. As you all know, in 1974, the band officially broke up, and Vincent Fournier, lead singer, who also adopted the name of Alice Cooper, uh, took the name and started a very successful solo career. Now, excuse me. Now, um, they have sold 50 million albums worldwide. And in doing research for this episode, I found out some interesting facts. First off, they formed in Phoenix, Arizona. They were originally known as the Spiders. In 1969, the Spiders recorded their first single, Why Don't You Love Me? And shortly after that, they changed their name to the Nas. Under the new band name, they released the single Wonder Who's Loving Her Now. And on the B side of that, you had a future Alice Cooper track, Lay Down and Die, Goodbye. Now, uh, shortly after the release of the single from the Nas, they realized they had to change their name yet again because another band at the time had that same name, who was led by one Todd Rundgren. I'm sure you know of him. And, and their lead singer at the time, Vincent Fournier, said that they were looking for a gimmick for the band. Um, their musical style was pretty much, garage rock, Detroit kind of style rock, just very meat and potatoes. And they wanted to go in a more of a darker direction with their sound. And they wanted to come up with a name that was pretty innocuous and a name that really you couldn't really tell what kind of music they performed. And they came up with the name Alice Cooper. Now, to Vincent Fournier in the band, that name kind of fit in that it was pretty tame, and it could be basically applied to your friend's aunt. Okay. But they wanted a name that was going to go completely opposite against the kind of music that they were going to write and perform and the stage presence that they wanted to present. Now, in the band, yeah, it was a five-piece band at the time. In the band, you had Vincent Fournier, aka Alice Cooper, on vocals and harmonica. Sometime around 1969, Vincent Fournier would adopt the stage name of Alice Cooper, and he would go on to legally change his name to Alice Cooper. Also in the band, you had Glenn Buxton on lead guitar. Glenn Buxton unfortunately passed away in 1997. You had Michael Bruce on rhythm guitar, keyboards, and backing vocals. Dennis Dunaway on bass and backing vocals, and Neil Smith on drums and backing vocals. Now, in terms of the band, in terms of their stage presentation, they wanted to go against what was happening musically at the time. It was pretty much the hippie love and peace movement, smoking up and dropping out kind of thing. And the band wanted to go strictly against that. And they pretty much did. They had no interest in becoming a part of the hippie movement, and they wanted to blow everyone else off the stage, whoever else, whatever other band they were playing with. And you know what? They did so. Now, as I said, they have released 8 albums in the career as a band, and it's sad to note that They were only around, I would say, about 2.5 to 3 years once the band took off and once they got noticed with their third release, Love It to Death. Now, and in terms of folklore with the name, um, I failed to mention this. The urban legend is that the band members one night were fooling around with a Ouija board and they were contacted by a 15th century witch by the name of Alice Cooper. And according to Alice Cooper in a 2009 interview, that was complete bull. It was an urban legend. They don't even know how that got started, but that sounded better than the truth. And they weren't about to correct anybody. And the other urban legend that happened was in 1969, the band were playing in Toronto at a festival, which I do believe featured John Lennon and Yoko Ono on the same bill. And the story is that somebody threw a chicken on stage while they were playing, and Alice Cooper picked up the chicken and threw it back in the audience. He believed that chickens could fly. Well, the audience ripped the chicken to pieces and threw the carcass back on stage. And the next day in the papers, it was a news story of Alice Cooper rips a chicken apart and drinks the blood, etc. Da, 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 da. He gets a call from one Frank Zappa and asks, did you in fact do this? He says, no, I never did this. He says, well, don't tell anyone because the story's going around like crazy and this is good publicity. Now, with regards to Frank Zappa, they would record uh, 3 albums for him before he would sell the record company Straight Records to Warner Brothers. And the rest, to say, is history. Now, I have put together my list of the 8 albums, and I'm going to go through it with you. And I pretty much knew my list when I was mulling it over in my mind. And once I put it down on paper, I realized, yeah, it's the way it is. Coming in at number 8, I have Pretties for You, released June 25th, 1969, recorded in November of 1968, 4 Straight Records, with a playing time of 38 minutes and 10 seconds. There are 13 tracks on this album. It was produced by Frank Zappa, Ian Underwood, and Vincent Fournier. Ian Underwood would go on to be a member of the New Mothers of Invention with Frank Zappa. And listening to this album, it's pretty forgettable. It's listed as psychedelic acid rock. Not very memorable at all. Again, 13 tracks in total. Starts off with Titanic Overture, which is a minute and 12 instrumental. Uh, Also, another track on here is 10 Minutes Before the Worm, another minute 39 seconds. Very short songs, uh, very forgettable. Other songs, maybe, to check out would be Changing, Arranging, you know, but would it be an album that I go back to? No, not at all. Coming in at number 7, I have Easy Action, released March 27th, 1970, recorded from November to December of 1969, again released on Straight Records, um, produced by David Briggs, with a playing time of 34 minutes and 13 seconds, 9 tracks in total. Um, on this album is the single that they released under the NAS called Lay Down and Die Goodbye at 7 minutes and 36 seconds. It closes out the album. Again, not very memorable at all. Again, I would not go back to this. But you know what? For collectors, this album could be for you, as is Pretty for You. Could very well be for you, but not for me. Sorry. Coming in at number 6, I have Love It to Death, released March 9th, 1971, recorded from November to December of 1970. You know what I'm noticing lately, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of the records that I'm reviewing and talking about were recorded in 1 to 3 months, very short time frame. as opposed to 5 or 6 years, etc. nowadays, which is quite refreshing. Now, Love Her to Death was produced by Jack Richardson and one Bob Ezrin. Album has a playing time of 36 minutes and 50 seconds. Uh, Good album. This is the album that pretty much put the band on the map. Now, Bob Ezrin has said when he listened to some demos that were done of theirs, um, he noticed a song that caught his attention that was called I'm Edgy. And he kept singing it to him, like it stuck in his head. So he contacted the band and he spoke with them and he says, I really like that song, I'm Edgy. And I think it was Alice Cooper said, I'm edgy. What are you talking about? No, that song is I'm edgy. The chorus is I'm edgy. You mean I'm 18? That's it. So yeah, I'm 18, one of the singles from the album, the breakout single for the album, caught Ezrin's attention and he wanted to work with the band. Now, again, very short songs with the exception of Black Juju at 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Good album, good, strong album. I'm 18, spoke to the disenfranchised. I'm 18 and I don't know what I want. Uh, there's a lot of that going around these days. It's never gone away, really. Other songs of note are Caught in a Dream, the lead off track at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Long Way to Go, track number 3. You have Black Juju again at track 4. Fantastic. The Ballad of Dwight Fry, can never say that, at 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Great, great. I mean, they weren't there yet in terms of what they wanted to do music, in terms of a real commercial hit, sorry, but they were on their way. And their stage presence and their shows, I mean, the, you couldn't make that stuff up. This was not scripted. They just did whatever they wanted to do to shock and get attention from the audiences and the critics, and it worked. Coming in at number 5, I have Muscle of Love, released November 20th, 1973, recorded in 1973, released on Warner Brothers Records. Warner Brothers in 1971 bought Straight Records, sorry, from Frank Zappa, as I said, and originally were going to kick the band off the roster, but they decided to keep them on and work with them. Now, Muscle of Love has a bit of a history to it. After the success of the sixth release, Billion Dollar Babies, massive success, they were in the studio working on some ideas for the next album, and they were going to have Bob Ezrin again produce them because he would go on to produce their entire output. And he was noticing that Michael Bruce was working on a piece of music, and he was making a suggestion to change a note, to change a section here and there. And Michael Bruce looked at him and said, "No, this is the way we decided to do it, and this is how it's going to be done. No changes." And Bob Ezrin could sense that there was tension happening. Now, at that point in the band, it was said that the other band members were getting kind of frustrated with Alice Cooper and his antics on stage, and they thought that the theatrical element of their shows was taken over for the music, and they felt that the music should speak more and should be the main uh, reason why they're doing it, and not for the theatrics. And they also kind of felt that Bob Ezrin was taken over in terms of the musical ideas. So he, uh, the band put the collective foot down, and Bob Ezrin decided to leave. And you know, because he wasn't going to be in a situation where there was tension, and he didn't want to work in a situation where there was resistance to his ideas. So he said to Alice Cooper, "If you ever go solo, I want to work with you because I think you're fantastic." So Muscle of Love would be produced by Jack Richardson and Jack Douglas instead of Bob Ezrin. Now, This album, if you look at the graphic for the album cover, you notice at the bottom it looks like it's wet, like whatever is in the package is seeping through. That was done on purpose. That was not done by accident. That nobody spilled any water or anything on the package. It's the way it was done or and manufactured. And a lot of people got pissed off because they believed that the record inside was damaged. It wasn't. Now, this album didn't sell as well as Billion Dollar Babies or Schools Out or even Killer or Love It to Death. But it did manage to go gold, and it's a good album. I need to sit with it some more. The single Teenage Lament 74, 3 minutes and 54 seconds. The second to last track on the album is a good track. Is a good track. You could feel something was missing with this album. I don't know why, but the magic was starting to fade. And a year later, they would release Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits, and the band would officially dissolve, leaving Alice Cooper to go on a solo career. And again, the rest is history. Now, it's a good album, as I said, but I need to sit with it some more. So that's number five. Coming in at number four, I have Killer, released November 9th, 1971, recorded in 1971, produced by Bob Ezrin. Now, eight tracks in total. I remember the album cover with the snake on it, and I do remember looking on the inside of the cover and seeing Alice Cooper there with a noose around his neck. So again, this is the band going for shock in terms of presenting you a show. Uh, fantastic album. Fantastic album. Songs like Under My Wheels that starts the album at 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Be My Lover is another good track. Halo of Flies at 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Again, all these songs are great. Dead Babies, 5 minutes and 44 seconds. And the title track, Killer, at 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah, it's a good album. It's a really good album. And, this was a band at this point on the rise. Coming in at number three, I have Schools Out, released June 13th, 1972, recorded that same year with a playing time of 36 minutes and 56 seconds, again produced by Bob Ezrin. Now, this album, if you were a kid or a teenager into music and it was the end of the school year, the end of June, um, when this album came out on the 13th of June, you knew that the end of school was coming for the year, and you knew summer vacation was coming. The title track that starts off the album was anthemic. You couldn't wait for the end of school, and it was party time. Uh, this track is anthemic. It's infectious. It's angry. It's guttural. Fantastic guitar soloing on this piece, and it's infectious. It's got that hook, with the no more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks. That hook there, I mean, it had hit written all over it, and you know you can blame Bob Ezrin for that, or you can blame the band, but at the same time, it was infectious. It was really great. Now, this album also saw the band go into more of a theatrical uh, arena in terms of the tracks, like Gutter Cat versus the Jets, which is more of a Broadway kind of a feel to it, at 4 minutes and 40 seconds, with Stephen Sondheim being credited for the arrangements on it, the musical arrangement on it. It's fantastic. It is. Other songs of note are, Street Fight at 55 seconds, the instrumental, uh, Blue Turk that ends off side one, and Alma Mater, track number three on side two, at 4 minutes and 27 seconds, and the grand finale, the instrumental at the end, at 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Again, this was the band going into more of a, I guess you'd say Broadway kind of a feel in terms of the arrangements of the album. Whether or not the other band members liked it, I do kind of get the feeling that this was Alice Cooper wanting to go into this direction. But, it sold. It sold. And it sold very well. And that's number three. Coming in at number two, I have The Revenge of Alice Cooper. Again, as I said, released on the 25th of July, 2025. Their first album in 52 years as a band. Again, produced by Bob Ezrin, released on Ear Music, with a playing time of 54 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, there are 14 tracks on this disc. There's a 7-inch with an additional two tracks that are included in various versions of this release. Now, the way this happened was um, Alice Cooper was recorded an album called Detroit Stories, and the band members contributed from the original Alice Cooper band, sorry, contributed musical ideas and to the release. And the idea was to record another album together under the name Alice Cooper. Now, Glenn Buxton had passed away in 1997, but on this album is guitar parts that were recorded by Glenn Buxton years back. So some of this music goes back years ago. And he appears on at least one track on this album. This album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper, is, in my opinion, fan bloody tastic. It's a good return. It's strong. It's pretty much Detroit garage rock, turned up about 10 notches. You can just imagine a group of friends reuniting, getting in a garage, having some drinks, and playing their hearts out and just having a good time. Okay? No record company to appease or management to satisfy, just to have a great time, as a band. And I guess kind of trying to recapture your youth in terms of some of the lyrical content. Now it starts off with the lead-off single Black Mamba at 4 minutes and 57 seconds. And this track is very, very atmospheric, very sinister in terms of its presentation. And it tells the story of a snake by the name of Black Mamba, or the type of snake it is, trying to woo a woman by seducing her and will eventually kill her, you know. But it is great. It's very sinister, very atmospheric. Other songs of note are the other two singles from the album thus far: Wild Ones at track two, 4 minutes and 17 seconds, and track three, the third single, Up All Night, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Very short songs. The longest track is Blood on the Sun, track six at 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Fantastic, fantastic. Heavy guitar work from Michael Bruce. Amazing drumming from Neil Smith. Just brutal. Just brutal. Guitar overload is the only way I can describe this album. And yeah, it is a good return to form. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. I liked it. I'm surprised I liked it as much as I do, because I kind of found with the Alice Cooper albums, some of the albums were good and some of them, for me, were a little spotty. But, a good album is a good album and a hook is a hook. And this album is dripping, not to quote Jim Bricker, but dripping with hooks. And yeah, I'm very happy with this album. And that's number two. Coming in at number one, I have Billion Dollar Babies, released February 27th, 1973, recorded from August of 72 to January of 73. Again, produced by Bob Ezrin, released through Warner Brothers with a playing time of 40 minutes and 51 seconds. This album, for me, is where the Alice Cooper band went into more of a high-end theatrical um, group in terms of the production, The arrangements of the songs, just wonderful, but also a touch of the sinister. Hello Hooray starts off the album, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. The one track that was written by an outside person, Rolf Kempt. Um, the rest of the album is written by the band members. Other songs I know are Raped and Freezing, Elected, you know, great vocals, great rocker, just a really good anthemic type of track. The title track, $1 Billion Babies, at 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Fantastic. Fantastic. Uh, this album does see the band take a bit more of a darker turn. Uh, and you can feel it. I mean, even towards the end of the album, other songs of note, No More Mr. Nice Guy, at 3 minutes and 6 seconds, it packs a hell of a punch. And yeah, this album made a statement. Generation Landslide is another fantastic, uh, track. And Sick Things, track 8. This is where, towards the end of the album, it starts to get really dark. Okay, Sick Things is a really fantastic piece of work. Um, the album ends off with Marianne at 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and it's track 10. I Love the Dead at 5 minutes and 9 seconds. Now, again, near the end of this album, you can tell that this is where the band is going into more of a darker, more sinister feel in terms of the type of music that they're writing. And it is, to me, it's very creepy, but very effective. The production on this album, to me, is fantastic. It was pretty much their zenith in terms of sales. And you didn't know where they were going to go next. But I kind of got the feeling listening to Muscle of Love that the rest of the band members, aside from Alice Cooper, wanted to just go back to a rock band, Detroit rock kind of feel, garage band kind of feel. Um, Come up, obviously with fantastic hooks and melodies, but again, make the music the focal point of the message and not the theatrics. And that caused a bit of issue with the band. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, ranking the albums of the Alice Cooper Band, albums 8 to 1. Now, please put down in the comments below your opinion of these albums. Which one is your favorite? Which one is your least favorite? And give me your comments on my ranking. Again, I don't know all there is to know about music. I never claim to. I'm just telling you what I like to hear and the albums that affect me. And yeah, I like to get a bit of a dialogue going on in this. And yeah, Alice Cooper, man, they're back and they're back in a big way, in my opinion, anyways. So please click like and subscribe and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we've got coming up. I've got more shows coming up with Bill Schuster, uh, Ken Cheshire, Sigosh, and the one and only Mr. Jim Bricker. And we're going to get these shows to you as quickly as we possibly can. And click like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon on the Music Den. Bye for now.